Okay, cool. So we're recording now. As always, all of the Leadership Council member meetings are public. So thank you guys for agreeing to that. This is really, I was saying, a momentous day because we're really taking some major steps as an organization right now. I'm going to dive right into what we've been talking about and share, exactly where we're at with all of this. Actually, take a moment for this to load up. So let me keep looking at you guys. As you know, we've been focusing on the manifestation process recently. And what I've gotten really clear about, and this is, the clarity that a lot of you have been asking about, is, what happens after the 3 months of the Leadership Council membership. And some of you are coming up on the end of the 3 months at the end of March. We've gone January, February, and March for the first group. So, I've been really looking at what is the replicable, we've talked about this before, the replicable kind of fractal role that the Leadership Council can play within the framework that we're describing, the manifestation process and the collective solution framework. And basically, I think that, anyone, and many of you are doing this, can organize a council of supporters, of advisors around whatever your vision is, right? Whatever that vision is. And hey, Paloma, how are you? Thank you for joining. Hello. And can you turn your camera? Perfect. Thank you so much. Great to have you. So, the way that we can, we can all have these councils of supporters, of advisors for our different visions. And in the beginning, when I first came to all of you, it was about, well, not all of you, but most of you, it was about the collective solutions framework. It was about leading the world into these, big global solutions like climate and pollution, deforestation, all those sorts of things. And what I've shared with you guys, and because you've been on the journey, that's excluded a lot of people from participating because we weren't meeting a lot of people's immediate needs. And that's why we created the manifestation process. Laura, did you want to say something?
Have everybody mute so that we hear you better.
Oh, okay. Paloma, do you mind muting? Because we're getting some background noise. Thank you. Awesome. Cool. Thank you, Laura. So with that, we've been having what I've come to realize, and as I've been sharing with you, and you guys have seen, in order for us to really serve the most people at the highest level the quickest, the manifestation process can help everybody, because we're creating this very systematized process, as you know, of identifying, and let me pull it up while we're talking about it, identifying the providers or the resources that we're looking for our vision. Okay, so here's the latest version of the manifestation process worksheet. Very simple. We're looking for the facilitators that help our vision come into existence, the referrers, the analysts, and the incentives for all of them. And so again, at this point, the organization that we're bringing to this process, hey, Dana, how are you? Great to have you here. The organization that we're bringing to this process, as you guys know, is not something that's normal out in the world. Certainly not systematized, certainly not all of us doing. Already, it just keeps popping up. Like I was doing this with Rico the other day, and he was, sharing, what he really needs right now, which is a realtor for, BNB site. And I said, oh, well, Kat's doing that. And it's just another example of where if you don't know somebody's needs, you can't connect them. And now we're just getting all of these needs out in the open, and it makes it easy to create all of these connections, right? So it's like just the value just happens as we're doing it. And part of what I've been realizing as I've been sharing with all of you, and this is like so big right now. Oops. This diagram that we went over last week, and thank you for Dana and Paloma for being interested in working on the content. And I know we didn't really get to it since the last meeting, but Dana's been following up, and I want to give you guys opportunity to keep sharing and providing input, and we're going to get more organized with that. The point I want to make right now is that we've been providing all of the solutions, and we've been focusing on the solutions, the collective solutions framework, the manifestation process. That's, as you guys know, what I'm bringing to the table is all of these solutions. And I keep realizing, as I've shared with some of you, and it's coming up for me especially, I'm realizing it every day, is that whatever solutions we have in our hands, we're limited in the results we can create in our life by the bounds of whatever the obstacles and challenges that we're dealing internally with. Like our whole, the realm of our existence on this planet is limited by wherever we're at with our stuff that's holding us right in that place. Like we will escape the bounds of all of that, not by the systems so much, but by our ability to break through whatever our internal, obstacles and challenges are. And when we're in a place where we're breaking through all of that, then we're ready to embrace these tools and ready to use them to their maximum benefit and ready to manifest all that we want in our lives. Because until we're ready to open up to these whole new realms, then they're just shiny tools that we're just kind of fumbling with because we're not ready to, own that greatness, own whatever, we have to break through. So again, I've been seeing it in myself so much, and I know that we're, it's a commonality for all of us. And I know that a lot of you, even on this call, Dana, Paloma, others, Michael, that are, helping people directly to break through, these things and these challenges and wherever people are being stopped. And that's why right now, the people that are showing up here, the way that I'm seeing the transition, and so this is my invitation to all of you in terms of how we go forward, is that for the moment, I don't have enough bandwidth to have multiple leadership councils for this moment. So the vision council, so to speak, that will be going forward from here will be the manifestation process vision council. It's the people who are engaged with and using the manifestation process and bringing it to others. The ones that see the value enough, are embracing the value enough, and are being leaders for the manifestation process into the world as the entree, as the entryway into all the other levels that you guys know about that, Uniting for Action is holding. It's just that I think, and I've shared this with some of you and gotten the feedback from some of you, the affirmation on this is that, we really need to focus, on this one product and develop the heck out of it. So it's really refined and really, good and really valuable, and it works, for everybody basically, right? And as I'm saying that, let me show you the new incarnation of it that none of you have seen yet. I texted about it. So this is Burge's new page, the new Shamanasta page. And Burge hasn't even seen it yet because she's out of town and dealing with personal stuff. So you're getting to see it first. And so I'm also prefacing by saying it's not a final version. Burge hasn't seen it yet, but I want to walk you through this evolution of the manifestation process. So Burge and I sat down last Tuesday and we went for really about 45 minutes that we got the content out for. And she wanted to focus on Shamanasta, which maybe some of you have heard is the soul group that she channels, that she provides this wisdom for. And so she's talking about, we went through the whole thing. What I pulled out was, first of all, starting, with this 28-second video, just like the 30-second commercial. What do you get? You can receive clarity, direction, answers, validation, ideas, connection, refinement, raising of consciousness. Okay, so just piquing the interest. And then also, again, remember, and this is for all of you, for all of your visions, this is the format now. So then this is a playlist, right? So you click on that little icon, it even talks about it down here for people that don't know. Then here's all of the videos, right, associated with your vision that you've edited, that we've edited, that you have here in the playlist. And as we scroll down here, we did a little about Burge. So I actually pulled these videos from her website that's already been produced in the past and added these in so people would kind of understand the context of who Burge is and what's going on here. And then answering your questions. So this is where Burge really went into it. And she went for 2 minutes and 49 seconds in this snippet that I pulled out, where she talks about how Shamanasta addresses things like transitions, divorce, death, children, being hired, fired, relationships, all sorts of things about relationships. And then also this, again, this is edited content from these video clips so that you guys understand the process. So this is essentially what she was saying in this clip, and I've now organized it and sometimes edited it to make it even better. So sometimes feeling clueless, helpless, useless, there's ideas about money issues, feeling lost, types of questions. So there's all these types of things. So this is kind of giving the overview for people of like, what is this? What is Shamanasta? Like, why would I be interested? So this is the 3-minute version with the bullet points of why I should be interested at all. And then here's the mechanics of it. So this is how the sessions go. This is a 2-minute clip about how the sessions go. And again, this is the summary of that and talking about reviewing the recording. And then she got into the different offers. And again, I pulled this, 1 minute and 55-second clip of the different offers. And this is what, she said during that time. So here's the all access package for the $87 a month. Here's the individual channeling session for $47. There's a money back guarantee. She's being a part of the Uniting for Action referral system where anybody can receive 10% for any referrals, including monthly referrals. And then also she has private sessions. So here's another 1-minute clip about the private channeling sessions. And then lastly, if people haven't seen enough and they still want to know more, this is another 5 minutes about what it is and where it comes from and the whole 5th dimension part and just opening your mind to a different perspective and all of that. So what I've done, as you can see in summary, is I've taken all of this stuff that's in Burge's head and maybe in other, places in different places. It's far different than what her website looks like. And again, it'll be interesting to have that kind of conversation because again, most people are not focusing on how can I mean, you want to, but most people are not doing it. How do I most inspire people for this? How do I speak to what their current needs are? How do I, incentivize their participation? So I've had ideas that I want to share with Burge about, again, incentives that she can offer for first-time people and all sorts of things. But I'm sharing all of this with you guys to give you guys kind of the overview of, you can see where it's starting to go on the higher levels with the full service. And then what I'm also doing simultaneously is doing my best to build out the self-service. So I'll just show you that very quickly, and then I'll pause to breathe and let you guys make comments, ask questions. But let me just quickly show you the self-service page so you get a sense of where we're going with that. And you can see, the refinement that I've gotten to with the self-service. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the manifestation page, landing page at the moment, but that, gives you options: self-service, full service. Here's what it's all about. Here is the self-service page when somebody chooses, I want to go the self-service option. So it's giving these very simple and straightforward steps. So step one, create a mind map. Okay, and we'll give the links and have the whole explanation. And then it shows you examples of where I created the mind map with Paloma and Laura and others. And so, people can see examples of how it was done, and they can see how to do it for themselves. So that's the model for all of this. So again, choose a vision. They see some clips of where we did it otherwise. Identify the required resources. All of you by now have done this with me. And you have an idea of how we're identifying the different resources and how that will be shared, again, just in video clips and in showing people, and then focusing on inspiring and incentivizing those resources, inspiring, incentivizing the referrers, and making the agreements. So again, just having video clips for each of these examples, showing them what that looked like with Electric Token, what that looked like with Shamanasta, what that looked like with Abundancia, Costa Rica, the different examples that we have. So again, just to give you guys, that's a quick overview. And then after I pause to let you guys comment, where I'm going to go with it too is that now we're starting to have people showing up to actually do this process besides me. So Emiliano is one of those people. Rico is one of those people. Our intern Kumba is going to start to do this starting tomorrow. So you guys can see the progression, and by starting to have a whole marketplace of people that are doing all of these steps for people that want to hire them, then there'll be a whole range of pricing as well, right? From the people that are really at a high level to the people that are more like newbies. There'll be a marketplace for people to have, choices for full service. And also with all those choices, it's more of an opportunity for you to find one that maybe you don't have to exchange cash with, that maybe you can exchange some trade or some other value with, right? So when we have a marketplace of different options, the more options there are there, the more chances you have to strike a deal with somebody. So you guys see how it starts to get even more advantageous for you guys, the more this gets built out and the more resources that are there. Does everybody kind of see the whole cycle with all of that? I see Dana nodding his head. And let me just say, questions, comments, what's landing for you guys? I know I'm laying a lot on you all at once, but please share with me what's there for you.
Man, I'm happy to see these pages being built out more. And I'm happy to see, hi everybody, by the way, if I haven't met you, my name is Dana. Yeah, I'm happy to see that there are, to see the Shamanasti page and see kind of what it looks like, at least at this phase of the finished product.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that, Dana. That's really, really great. And yeah, you're right. It's we're still at early phases, but we can already see how that was one of the things that I went through with this is I've been sharing with you guys kind of the standard format, and I kind of had to throw out the standard format a bit around this page because I didn't want to be handcuffed by it, and I wanted to create some results around it. So I'll get into that more afterwards, but I want to let Paloma share what you wanted to share. Paloma, please.
Yeah, so first, congratulations, because wow, you have advanced a lot. I think you have put
Thank you.
a lot of energy and a lot of effort into it, and now a concept that it was so kind of wide and so lost, now it started to concretize. So I like how it's looking. It was very interesting to see that Shamanaste kind of web page or part of the page. So congrats. I mean, it's very good. I'm glad you're moving forward, and the more that you're doing these, the more that the ideas start falling into place. And now it seems like it's a more concrete kind of idea instead of something that, oh, maybe would happen. So, I'm happy for you and for everyone that is here participating. And yeah, I like the idea.
Thank you, Paloma. Thank you for saying all that. That's really awesome. Yeah, and I feel the privilege, and this is also, so just to let you guys know, this kind of realization that we're leading with the manifestation process now, and that this, you know, like you're saying, Paloma, by narrowing our focus and focusing on this and making sure we're making this a success, you know, it gives us the ability to build everything else, right? It gives us that foundation that we need to have of solidity and you know, something that we can all grab onto and work together around. Right. So it's really great that we're in that space around it. And the, you know, the way that it's evolving is that, you know, we're, well, like I said, we're, by having more and more people, okay, let me actually take a couple steps back. The thing that I've realized in terms of the leadership council for, let's now say, the manifestation process council after March is kind of how it'll be. It's really going to be made up not of inviting people that are just kind of not, you know, not using the process and saying, hey, do you want to join the council? It's going to be more that we're flipping it around, where we're starting to put the manifestation process out there in the world and let everybody use it and let everybody access it in the whole self-service model or full service or whatever they want. But it's like we're introducing everybody to like this awesome opportunity for them to plug in and manifest what they want and connect and create with everybody. And the ones that like really embrace that opportunity, the ones that are in that space to like really use the tools to the max and refer this person here and refer this person there and get their stuff done, all of that, those will be the people that'll be like the natural leaders, right? The natural leaders will emerge because they're the ones kind of leading it into the world. You guys see what I'm saying? Like I was doing it in reverse before because I kind of needed to. I needed to find the people that I knew that were leaders in the world and invite them. And then along the way, it's been like, oh, and can you please use this manifestation process along the way? And like, we'll start, you know, it's been like you're saying, Paloma, it's been a bit of a transition, you know, time, when in the beginning, it was more the concept, hey, we're going to transform the planet, which we're still going to do, you know, but it's more of like, hey, you know, I'm using this new tool that allows me to, you know, manifest everything I want much quicker and more efficient and more effective. And I want to invite you to use the tool. You can use it, you know, for free. You don't have to pay anything. You can see if it gets value for you. If it does, or if you want full service options, there's that, you know. So this is going to be the way it's going to kind of be, is we're going to be really starting to share it with our networks and share it with people and allow people to just embrace it, who's ever ready to embrace it. And then the other part of it is that we're going to have all of this support on the support side that we've talked about, right? You know, you guys, the supporters, you guys are going to be there for the people that are not ready to embrace these powerful tools that are right there for them. You get what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of people that no matter like what power you might put in their hands right now, they're not ready to embrace it. You want to say something, Paloma?
So yeah, no, I don't understand that part. Like,
you don't understand that part?
Yeah, it's like really, I don't have a lot of extra time, so I don't know how am I going to be like a helper, a supporter, or something like that. So
yeah, it's more of the way that you're going to be a supporter is by sending people to the people that you care about, right? Let's put it that way. Like the people that have needs, and this, because this is the way it already works, right? The people in your life that have needs, that the needs are enough and you're close enough to them that you do something to help them fulfill their needs. So it's still going to be like that. It's just that that group of people that you're willing to put your time and your energy into helping is going to grow, because you're going to be able to do less and create more results within the system. You're going to be able to say, hey, Emiliano, I see that you have this challenge and I know this person that can help you with that. And just, you know, you're going to want to connect people because it's so easy. Just like, you know, again, when Angie was saying, hey, you know, we've got all this going on, and Paloma, you shared all about the feng shui and the land feng shui, and she was like, hey, that would be great for you to do that for us, right? So it's just like these opportunities arise and they will arise all around us more when the structure is there, right? When the infrastructure is there. So it's really just a matter of, like you're saying, we each have very limited time and attention to give anything. So what's going to, win our time and attention is going to be what's most inspiring / incentivized for us. It's going to be the combination of those two. So, I think that's the best I can describe it. Does that answer your question, Paloma? Or are you still unclear?
Yeah. It's not that we're gonna have to be committed to be like online at a certain time or anything like that. It's just that we are gonna be helping while we are in the meeting, and then someone comes up with a.
So you're talking about in the leadership council, like what is it going to be a part of the?
I just want to clarify what you just said. Like, I mean, so like how we're gonna be the supporters.
So when you say we, are you talking about leadership council members being supporters, or you being a supporter of friends in your life?
I guess I was understanding it as we, the leadership council.
Okay, so the leadership council so for your current 3-month term, for everybody's current 3-month term, it'll look like it has been and like it is right now. We're supporting each other and creating the most value that we can get out of this whole experience. And one of the biggest values, for people is the manifestation process for the reasons that we've talked about. And most of you, almost everybody on the Leadership Council has embraced the opportunity to go through the manifestation process and be using it because it's valuable for them. And now, you're seeing, again, we're having client after client, and now Rico has a friend that he's put me in touch with that's very excited about what we're doing, and he's ready to be a client right away. And so we're going to keep having more and more and more and more people that are just aware of the value of it. And so again, in terms of going forward, the people that will be participating on the Vision Council for the manifestation process are the people that are using it really successfully in their lives, that they're sharing it with others, that they're helping others use it successfully in their lives. So it's really just a matter of, the people that are, again, leading it into the world, having the biggest impact, So that's what it's going to look like for this council going forward. Does that make sense, or is there still a question there?
I still don't get it exactly,
Okay.
I think
Maybe somebody can say it better than me. Maybe Emiliano, you gonna say
I just
something?
have a question. Yeah. So I guess, I kind of understand what Paloma is saying. What will the leadership council be after the 3-month period? Is it going to be invite only, or anybody can join, or is there a certain criteria for someone to join these calls? What is it gonna look like? I think that's one of my questions. And also, to answer Paloma's, I think that what Jared is saying is that we're at this point, it's gonna be, whoever's interested in this project, in this vision, is going to just basically share with friends and family about the tool, and in the process get the incentives that the person has put there, as well as to, if you make a referral, this is the incentive that we get. So it's basically, helping share this, getting something in return, and then, promoting this tool, this methodology. So that's what I'm understanding. Now, I'll go back to the first question. I don't know if you can answer that one, Jared.
Well, I want to see if Paloma got from what you said more of what she was looking for. Did that answer more of what you were looking for, Paloma?
kind of.
Kind
So
of.
that means that the other people will have to join and pay a membership in order for like them to get a referral or be in the system. Because, like the membership is already like expensive. So like, like how can you tell, oh yeah, I can help you. You just have to join here and pay this amount of money, and then we'll find you someone that will charge you this amount of money. People are gonna say like, that doesn't make sense.
No, yeah, thank you for clarifying that. So now I understand what you're saying. So people don't have to pay anything to use the system necessarily. what we're doing is we're asking people to pay what they think is a fair amount for using the system. And so we're helping people see the value of using the system and see the value of paying to use the system. So people that like think it's only worth like $10 a month for them, we want to help them make it worth $100 a month for them. And if they're paying $100 a month, we want them to make it worth $500 a month because we want it to be worth that much to them. It can be worth whatever people make it for them because they can operate on any kind of level, whether it's, you know, hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, whatever. So it's going to be up to people. And we will start to have like advanced features that are, you know, available at higher levels, but we'll also make it where people can earn into, you know, the membership for those higher levels by, like, again, earning commissions and then using the commissions to pay for the Uniting for Action. So I'm thinking, you know, we'll have ways even to kind of help finance people and that sort of thing. We want to make it as easy as possible for everyone to benefit as much as possible. And we also want to teach people the underlying principle that all of this only happens because some of us decide to contribute together and make an effort together. And we want to teach everybody that everybody's a part of that. And we want everybody to take some kind of level of responsibility for that. And so that's why we're providing all of this healing for people along the way so that they can be, you know, in alignment with their personal responsibility for what's happening in the world. And in that level of acceptance of personal responsibility, they start to realize, I would want to contribute more than $10 or $50 or $100 of my monthly budget to what I care about. Like, actually, now that I'm using a system that directs all my energy to what I care about, like that, what I care about is worth hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars a month to me, and I'm going to direct that amount of resources to what I care about. So over time, that's where we're going with all of this. So in the beginning, it's a foreign concept to people to even give anything to a collective, you know, to create results for them. So we're kind of having to teach people along the way. And I'm willing to meet people wherever they're at by saying, just give us what you think it's worth, and we'll do our best to tutor you and give you resources to help it make it worth more to you. So does that make sense?
I mean, if you can do that and if people, you know, like will fall for that, but, you know, like, I don't think that's the kind of people that I surround myself with, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
You don't.
It's important to give it a try.
So when you say you don't, the people that you surround yourself with, you don't think they would be open to using a system that doesn't cost them anything up front and just like they're seeing other people use it and get value out of it and they wouldn't have any interest in it?
I mean, maybe if they're like, if you say it's for free, yeah, they will give it a try. And then if there's a benefit, they will keep on getting engaged. But I don't see them like, okay, so using it as like a charity, you know, just like, I mean, giving money just, you know, like for.
Well, we're not, that's why people, you know, are saying we shouldn't talk about all of that part right now, because that starts to get, you know, too big and too confusing for people. And that's why I'm getting the advice, let's just focus on this part of it so that we're not talking about like the long-term vision.
I used to, when I was landscaping my home, like I used this website, unbelievable, about all of the plants, shrubs, vines, whatever that, you know, it was like existed in Florida and where they can grow. And I used it so much because, you know, it was my source of information before I was going to plant something. And at some point, after using it so much for free, which was incredible, the amount of, you know, knowledge that it was there, it says, I mean, you know, this is free, but if you want to make a donation. So that's when I decided, you know what, I use it so much that I feel like, you know, like giving some money, like if I would buy a book or something like that, it was kind of well deserved. So I do understand your point, but you would have to have a very good group of people and too many reliable business too, that they're certified like honorable, that they will receive money but will not screw people, which is what is happening a lot lately in the web. People give some down payment and then they never see. People buy something online and then they never receive it and then they can't ever get their money back. So if you can create a website that can kind of guarantee, like all of the, let's say, facilitators are well renowned, you have their information. If something goes wrong, they can be liable for it. They cannot cheat on you. They cannot rob your money. Then your website starts becoming extremely trustworthy. So then it becomes a place for everyone to come and it's like, okay, let's see what they have at videographers, shamanestes, or whatever. But you have to earn that trustability. And once you earn that, then people is like, wow, this website and these people have been so amazingly helpful that yes, I'm gonna make a donation. But first it's about being very clear and earns people trust. And that takes quite something, takes a lot of work. So
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm really glad that you shared all of that. And, you know, maybe there are people that don't know, you know, a fundamental concept of all of this. And I do need to make it more clear if it's not known, is that with everything that we're doing with all of this connections, there is like ratings by the people that are getting, you know, receiving the services or products or whatever.
And all of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly, like Yelp or Amazon or what have you. And then, you know, they have a reliability index in the system. Everybody does. Everybody has a reliability index of how reliable they've been, even for like showing up for meetings and stuff. So, you know, it's an important part of the system because, like you're saying, it's not a matter, and that's why we're going away from the paradigm, just like you've said in the past, Paloma. It's not uniting for action at the top of the pyramid saying, you know, who's reliable and who's not. It's a distributed system where it's a reliability index. So you're going to score, you know, whoever you hired, and you're going to, the next person is going to know how well they scored, and they're going to know, you know, how well they served you and all of those sorts of things. So that's going to be the way, you know, I see that we're going to be able to provide the highest level, you know, of assurance. That's the best we can do, right?
Another very popular thing that happened around, you know, like it was Just Ask Boo, and it was this that started this website, and she would use it as a platform for people to find nannies, cleaning ladies, and, you know, like help. So let's say I, you know, had 2 kids, I needed some help. So I would go there and then someone would be posted and then, you know, like, I mean, you will encounter, and it went like that for a couple of years until she got so much traffic because now everyone in the community knew, like, if you need someone, you know, like elderly care, child care, whatever care, you go to Just Ask Boo. And then there's going to be someone applying with her. She created this amazing system. And then she started charging and her business collapsed because now she was charging a fee. So I don't know, like, what is it that you're looking for really? Like more traffic into the website, or like what's your business plan at the end? But, you know, like, I mean, you will have to take into consideration a lot of those points, like what you really want. A lot of members to coming in, or just traffic, and make it like the platform. So then you can sell advertising, and that way United for Action website can make some money, you know, so.
You know, those are all, you know, those are all pieces, and I appreciate you bringing all of that up, Paloma. I'll tell you what it comes down to for me, because like this is what I'm feeling like every day, is this is all to save people's lives in Ukraine. Like this, like, you know, we talk about climate, we talk about, you know, pollution, we talk about whatever, you know, I'm watching the news and watching the people dying in Ukraine, and like I'm in the space where it is like an assault on the world, right? It's like, how can the world, 141 countries, stand by and just let, you know,
allow that to happen,
and allow
people like that to exist anyway?
Yes. So how as a world can we really, you know, allow that to happen, right? So I am I'm understanding that, the system, like I'm trying to think like what parts of the system are built that could make a difference right now. And I'm realizing that really, the system needs to be built further to really be able to support. But that's like what the system is built for. It's built to save lives. We don't normally see the lives so tangible in front of us. They're running in front of the TV screen right now. But, every day there are people fleeing destruction in the rainforest and fleeing this and fleeing that all over the world. And, for me, the conversations that we're having, honestly, it's like really, it's beneath all of us, really. What needs to happen is we need to be connecting with enough people that the people that really need to be addressing all of these questions, all the experts about all of these things, need to be coming together ASAP so we can function as a high level society and get shit done as a society. And so like, this is just a very fundamental way to teach people how to work together and how to get things done together. Like, it teaches people how to get things done individually. It gives everyone a structure to work together, to start creating things collectively. And as we start to practice this, we can start to have the type of leverage that we need to have in the world to be able to make the types of differences, like turn, that around, what's happening in Ukraine. So to me, what I just described to you is what Uniting for Action is. Now, what I've been doing is spending so many years, and you've seen a microcosm in the last couple of months, trying to figure out a way to package any part of it enough to build a sustainable financial foundation to be able to have, at least a growing enterprise without, outside investment and all that sort of thing, at least to be able to have a growing level of financial foundation. So we're right on the verge of that right now. We are just taking steps into that realm right now for the first time. And as we're doing this, and as we have enough of what I've described, packaged and shared and on video, as soon as we can edit it well enough, there's plenty of people that would want to, have enough of this alive in the world to be able to, support it at a much higher level, to start to give the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars we need to start to be able to do things, to start to connect us with the right people, all the things that we need to do in order to be able to, really be out there on the level that we need to be able to have the effect to turn the tanks around, whatever that looks like, right? So that's, I think in a nutshell, that's the best way I can share it. And I think right now, Paloma, from my perspective, like I shared in the beginning, to find the people, and I'm inviting, obviously all of you to begin with, because you're here and you have the opportunity, if you want to continue, this journey after the first 3 months, that it's going to be all about how we can get as much of the world practicing this win-win, pay it forward, concept as a starting point. Again, if there's better systems out there, Paloma, if there's better ways that you've seen or how to structure it, that's where to give this is where to give your input, because
one time I heard about this website. It was created by this supermodel, and she just created the platform that it was about just giving. So let's say, I'm feeling good, I made some money, and I feel like I want to give something or do something or give something to someone around the world. So you will go into that platform, and the people will just be, I need a new roof, or I need a new door because my door blew up or whatever. And then it's like, what, I feel like it. So then you give through it. And she just created for the whole entire purpose of kindness, right? Be kind, teaching people to be kind. I don't know the name of the website. I never kind of ended up getting in. So I don't even remember what was the name of the model, but I'm like, whoa, that was a very beautiful thing to do. And I think it worked. I don't know if it keeps on working. I don't know if anyone has heard. So the only way to get people into a website, I would say, is to offer some kind of like a value and trustability, right? So the concept that you explain is very vague. So we have to really concretize what is it about exactly and why you would want to come here and use the people, that we have as the ones that they were going to help. For example, like I ended up trusting, and I just share it here out loud. I ended up trusting Rico because he told me, you know what, I think I can help you with your website. I can hire this person somewhere in Asia and I'll deal with him. And I'm like, you know what, I like that. I like that. So Rico is not doing my website. He's going to sub hire, whatever, but I trust him only because I met him in the council. And I know that, okay, he's not gonna screw me up because I have already give money. But I have buy things online or that they come from China or these beautiful websites and you don't have any idea and then they never arrive. And like I complain and it's like, no one knows anything, so you lose your money. And that's what is happening nowadays. So people need trustability,
Sure.
and if they're going to end up in like hiring someone that it's highly recommended, I guess, you have to make the people trustworthy, or I don't know how this kind of works.
Well, if we have the reliability index, doesn't that handle that for what you're looking for? Because that's what we can do. We can have the reliability index so that you can look and see, just like on Amazon, right? Isn't that what you do on Amazon? It's like, I don't know, this doesn't have enough stars. I'm not,
No,
I don't feel
like
safe about
Amazon is a guarantee because you buy and if you don't like it, I order something, it arrives, I see, oh, made it, did you cancel it? And that's it, you're returning it, you
maybe
always get your money.
Oh, okay. I haven't been on Amazon in a lot of years. When I used to go on Amazon like 10 years ago, you had like a bunch of stars in different colors, and sometimes you knew what you were going to get, and sometimes you didn't. Maybe it's eBay. Is that eBay more? I think I'm thinking of eBay.
You still
Don't
you still
forget
see the
your
reviews. You
I'm
can still
sorry.
see the reviews on Amazon and check all the stars for sure. But like what Paloma is saying, that is that even if you see all the reviews and even if it says it's amazing, you get it, you don't like it, whatever, you can return it without any problems or issues. So that's what makes Amazon so powerful and so trustworthy. So I think that's what she's referring to for this platform, is how can we make it so trustworthy and so that if someone doesn't like the service of someone else, the Uniting for Action can be backing up the service and either refund them or provide the service again at the something. I think that's what she's saying. But since we're not selling products, it's mostly service, it's a little more difficult to quantify, and someone's opinion might be different. So I think that's a really interesting point she's making, and I appreciate she's bringing it up. I think as a user, that would be important.
So I want to make sure I understand. Thank you for saying that, Emiliano, and thank you for explaining, Paloma. So, but are you saying, Paloma, that like you think Uniting for Action should guarantee Rico's work? You're not saying that, right? That you've trusted Rico because you met him here. If you get screwed by Rico and he takes your money, that Uniting for Action should pay you that money back?
That would be great, right?
It would be great, but I don't know if that can be a
It's just-
sustainable business model.
Yeah, it's just to make it trustworthy, because that's what people is doing right now, not trusting each other with just sending money. We can send money so easily, right? There's all this app from Venmo and PayPal and Cash, whatever. You just can just start sending money everywhere. But then, like, how do you get that, like, guarantee that you will get the service or the product finished or whatever?
I
So
don't think
that's,
I think the way you get the guarantee is, again, with the reliability score. When you have somebody that's got like a 95% reliability index or 98% reliability index versus somebody that's got like a 70% reliability index, if you want a guarantee, then you're going to hire the one with the 98. But the one with the 98 is going to cost you a lot more than the one with the 70, because they're competing in the open marketplace, and the ones that can have a 98 can charge more. And that's the way the whole marketplace is going to be for everything that you want to buy. Is you're going to get to decide, what reliability score am I willing to pay for? So I think that's the solution at the moment. But here's the thing, again, I'm just telling you what Jared thinks is a good solution, but I don't want the solution to rely on Jared. I want to convene a panel of experts that are the ones that are figuring out what the best solution is. So that's where we're going with all of this. Uniting for Action doesn't have to have all the solutions. Uniting for Action just needs to be marching the action forward and trying to find people that have better solutions about all of it all of the time, and just inviting people to be a part of it. Any place that you think there's a solution that we're missing, you can do a Google search and try to find somebody in that area that's doing that and say, hey, you need to come and show up and give your expertise because we can use it. You know, and that's the way that we're going to get all of this handled, is that all the needs that we have are out there in the world, and it's those of us that are willing to take responsibility for convening it, you know, for getting it, for creating it. So again, I think we've covered this, you know, in sufficient detail for this meeting, at least. So I want to, you know, thank you, Paloma, thank you, Emiliano, thank you, you know, Dana, for what you've input, Laura and Michael, thank you for your observing, and I want to hear comments from you guys as well. But I just want to wrap up this part of it because I want to get, you know, again, really clear that I think, and you tell me, Paloma, but I think the best answer to all of that, again, is don't ask me for the solution. Don't ask, you know, Uniting for Action for the solution. Ask the world for the solution, right? If we're building a process, of a framework that allows anybody with, you know, the solution to show up, can we do any better than that? Like, what else can we do other than to invite the solution to show up and plug it in, right? Do you get what I'm saying, Paloma? I want to see if that's sufficient to you.
I mean, no, just don't get me into it again.
Okay.
I'm about having concepts very clear.
Yeah.
Right. And like speak with the truth, and you know, this is what it is, and this is where we're going. Right. And I think time is just so valuable for everyone. So I don't like to talk a lot without saying the correct and exact information, because that's my practice. That's what I do. You know, I always have 1-2 hours period of time to talk to a client or to give a talk. So I try to concretize, and I like to give the right strong idea, because when you do that, people respect you and people trust you. So every idea has to be concrete and has to be very clear and very specific, and then people will trust. I'm still kind of not getting like what will be the value of. I like how you present it. I like the website. I like how you're putting, you know, like, let's say each one of us is a way for us to promote whatever. But then why would more and more and more and more people will come to the Uniting for Action website?
Yeah.
Like,
The reason is because everyone who is posting what their needs are is going to get their needs fulfilled much quicker and better, you know, than if they're not. Because again, just posting it, just putting it out there starts to have people show up and say, hey, I can help you with that, and I can help you with that. And you just knowing, you know, your friends just knowing your needs start to get fulfilled. It's already, you know, been happening. Again, you know, Emiliano started to talk about, you know, moving to Austin, and you know, and Kat says, oh, I can help you with that. I have a realtor, you know, and you know, and Rico tells me he needs a realtor, and Kat is doing that type of realty. So again,
I get it. And like, I got, you know, like Rico to do the website, whatever. But what, are we gonna keep on meeting every Monday and until this gets bigger, or then these meetings stop and everything is done through the website? That's the part that I don't get.
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure what the answers are to all of that. I'm still, you know, wanting to see how it all flows. However, my feeling has been that it probably is going to be like a monthly meeting rather than twice a month meeting, and that maybe there will be like there might be like a once a month like open house type of meeting where we can send people, and I'll like host a meeting to answer questions for people that are interested or something like that. Laura brought that up. So I can't tell you all of the details of how it's going to be, but it'll be based on what you guys are interested in. That's why I'm working to see who wants to be a part of this going forward and who, feels like this has been, a good 3 months and, it's going in a different direction, or you learned what you needed to, or whatever. So we'll kind of see, but I want to hear what Laura has to say. I want to hear what Michael has to say, and then we'll kind of get into some other things. So Laura.
Yeah, so yeah, a couple of things. One, a little bit of what I'm hearing from the last conversation is, would it be possible, like, how does Uniting for Action compare to LinkedIn? Or how does Uniting for Action, like the model that Daily Ohm uses, where they offer all these courses and you can pay what you want? I think when somebody can, when you can compare it to something, like it does LinkedIn, but it does, this on top of it. Like what if you were able to be on LinkedIn and have these contacts, but you were able to post specific projects that you're working on and find resources. So like creating something like that where people are familiar with something and how does, how it compares to or is like something that they know, but you're adding more value on top of it. I think that that's beneficial. I do like the idea that I had shared with you about creating like a monthly meeting for users. And like, I just signed up, for instance, for Calendly. And right away, the next day I got an email from them that said, oh, we offer a 1-hour webinar for all new users to ask questions. So sign up. And so like, that's a great model, so anybody new gets an automated email that on Thursdays there's every other Thursday there's a an hour-long webinar that gets recorded and sent to them as long as they sign up for it. One of my questions is, just so that I understand the model of it. So is that what you're looking to do and I know I'm saying you, and I get your vision is it's not you. It's like, you're creating something like a LinkedIn or a Facebook or a community, and it's not, yours. But what you're looking to do is to have 100, then 1,000, then 5,000, then 10,000 users that are creating profiles for either projects or businesses. And then is that it? And then will there be some sort of like search system? So people that are looking for, like, and also like, I feel like there's like a little bit of like, almost like Kickstarter in here. So it's like pulling from all of these different things and putting them into one space.
So yes, to answer your first question, yes, it is like that, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000 million. Yes, that's how we want to grow in terms of the user base, and quickly. And it is going to happen quickly. It's going to happen a network at a time is basically what we're going to do. Is we're going to focus on people and entities that have large networks of users that can benefit from signing up all of their users. Any network holder earns 2% of any of the referral business when they sign up their network, right? So if you've got hundreds or thousands of users, or if you're an influencer and you've got millions of followers, and you send people and they sign up, and you're earning 2% of all of the business that's getting done amongst everybody that you sign up when you're an influencer and sending off, that's massive, And so that's where, as soon as we're going to be advancing, not like one person at a time, two people at a time. We're going to be advancing network by network by network, and we're going to be growing in the sizes of the networks that we're adding, pretty quickly. So we're going to start with networks like Burgess and others that are maybe a few hundred or a few thousand, people, but pretty soon we're going to start to go to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, that sort of thing. And it's really just as soon as the technology is ready to support it. And that's the race right now, is how quickly can we get this technology built out so we can start like really onboarding. And so again, in order to get the technology built out, we've got to get, all of this, all of these people, all of the staff, all of the contractors, all of the everything. Yeah, Emiliana, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is real. Now I'm starting to understand. I feel like you bring in a new piece every time that you speak. But what I'm noticing that right now, I mean, yes, we were the leadership council, but we're ultimately like user testers. That's kind of what I'm seeing this group being. We're like the beta testers of the product. And so we get to give advice and feedback as it's being created right now, so that when the hundreds of thousands of people try this, we've already tested it and there's already some kind of proven, like we know that it works. And if something doesn't work, now it's the time to say it so that we can pivot or shift. So I think, like, for example, what Paloma said is that part of user testing experience. If Paloma is saying, if I don't have the reliability of this system, then I'm not gonna trust it and I might not even use it. And I know my friends won't use it either. So now Jared can have that as feedback and actually see, okay, what can we do? And we can all decide as well, what can we do to have this platform be reliable? And if the rating system is not enough, we have to think of other solutions. And I think Jared doesn't know the answer to that question. And I think Paloma wants the answer, but there's no answer right now. So we have to come up with something. I don't know when, and I don't know, Jared, what's your, like how you see this working? Like, how do we communicate these solutions in, maybe not in this meeting, but afterwards, or how do you want us to work on this?
Yeah, that's a really great question. It's a really great way to break it down. Thank you for sharing all of that, Emiliano, and saying it that way. So I think with our current structure, it's going to be a Slack conversation. And I'm interested because it seems to me that the reliability index is the solution, but if it's not a sufficient solution, I do want to know that. I want to have Paloma share whatever she wants to share, since I see you came off mute, Paloma. And then I also want to have Michael share. It looks like Laura wants to share something too. I want to have Dana share something too. So Paloma, but not real long Paloma, but what do you want to say?
Okay, so I like what Emilio was, like, I mean, conceptualizing. For me, this seems like this is a startup, right? That we don't know where is it going. There's an idea, and it seems to be a good one, and it seems to be about helping each other and uniting for action to change the world for a better place. Hopefully, we can do it. And we are the board members, just trying to pitch in. How can these kind of join together and grow? And meanwhile, we're paying, right? So it's kind of like funny. So I'm up for being part of it, but I don't think I can be up for being part of it for a long period of time. Because, like at this time, it's like my kids are already late, right, to bed and the whole thing. So we're going to have to figure it out how, like, this is going to keep on happening. So everyone will want to come and join and participate, because if not, we're just going to keep on getting there, just trying to create this website product service that, we don't even know where is it going. Right?
I know where it's going. I understand that you don't know where it's going yet. And I appreciate everything that you're saying. Everything that you're saying is really on the money. And I think that really the idea should be for a lot of leadership council members that it is a 3-month, thing, and it's not going to extend beyond the 3 months, because I think for a lot, that's going to be like a concentrated period of really doing something, making an effort above and beyond to get all this out and get it, outlined and get it shared and get it, filled. So I think that all the points that you're making are really good, and I want to really I want to keep honoring, what you're sharing and the interpretation, Emiliano, what Laura has shared. I think that I think that you're making a lot of good points about the expectations and about how we go forward. So I'm going to keep processing this. I'm going to definitely watch this whole meeting again to really, keep understanding everything that's being shared. I want to see if Michael will say something, and then Dana as well.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thanks, Michael.
All right, I'm on. And I might be not as articulate as I would like to be. My car made it. I got everything into the house, and a giant lightning bolt hit the house.
Oh my goodness.
And I have no power.
Oh my goodness.
So all the lights are out, and I'm not sure the meaning of all that, but on a divine level. But So I'll be as quick and succinct as I can. I think Paloma really brings up some excellent comments. And I've watched like the arc of this since the beginning. I've only missed last week's, which I did review. And I'm
Thank you.
sorry, because I've been doing a massive IT project myself, which I literally just finished tonight. So I'm very pat myself on the back. But it has been a very interesting, I tend not to say things until I can sort of see the broad arc of what's going on. And I do think I have a good perspective on that, having kind of seen this, at least, right from the beginning to here. And again, I go back to Paloma's comments, like where she doesn't understand where this is going, but you do. And I've noticed that with many people, to be very honest. And yet, it seems to be evolving. And this is why I haven't sort of just shut the door on this, in that it's been fascinating for me to watch as the months have gone by and the comments to this and that and the other thing. I've watched you adjust to it. And Emiliano even just said, oh, there was something new that I didn't understand that he just kind of put into this. So it feels like this sort of, and again, this is from an outside perspective. I would say our perspective, because I know that your nose is right up to this thing. And it seems to be this sort of amorphously evolving animal or something. And again, like I'm here and I'm listening each time, because I do think that the energy behind this is an excellent energy. And I think your energy is an excellent energy. And I think everybody here feels that. So it's sort of like a lot of rooting for what is going on. Again, to be really frank, it is maneuvered and evolved so much. I remember a comment Rico made 2 meetings ago, and he was kind of like, oh, wait, I thought we were doing this. And originally, he had put up that website, and we're actually pretty far from that at this point. So again, I see sort of this evolvement going on, and I see a lot of people, like Laura made the comment of, is this a LinkedIn? What is this? And I still think that it's trying to find its structure. And so that would be my comment right now. And as I said, I apologize that meandered a little bit, but a lot's been going on in the background here. So that would be my comment for the minute.
Yeah, it's very clear and I appreciate it. And, it's definitely all right on. And you guys are tuning in to the evolution that has been going on for more than 10 years that you guys have now seen 3 months of. And so, this evolutionary process is the necessary process from my experience to create the types of solutions that, we're creating. And so we've created, and the way I look at it from an objective standpoint, and you guys can tell me what you think, but I think it's like miraculous that I created the manifestation process within like a couple weeks time, and then have refined it over a few weeks. And it's such a fundamental way to shift the way that we operate as humans. And it's a very simple, elegant solution that can work with very few moving parts and pretty leverage and all of that. So I know it's not far from a perfect, like polished system yet. It's far from that. But it's really a great start, given that it's only a couple months old at this point, and that it pushed everything else aside because I came to the realization so quickly that what I was leading with after only having a couple months of conversations with people wasn't landing sufficiently to move them. So let me develop a new product that's going to work for everyone. And this is what I came up with. And now we're only a few weeks into the life of this thing, and we can already see where it can significantly shift society. So you're dead on that it's a constantly moving, evolving, and amorphous thing. And if you need something else, this is not the place to be, because it's going to keep being like that. It's just going to start happening on a much bigger scale with much bigger pieces. But we're definitely going to keep evolving at the most rapid rate we can, because we need it. We need hyper evolution, and that's what all of this is built for, is to hyper evolutionize our society. So did you want to say something else, Paul?
Yes. Yeah, Jared, I just wanted to make sure that what I said was absolutely not a judgment on your dedication and your like I've watched your energy rush to fill any hole that anybody, when we've been having these meetings, I've watched people sort of put in this, and I've watched your energy shift around to try to fill that hole and fill that hole. So don't take it as I said, the underbelly of this is you're a good man with very good thoughts about this world and what it needs and helping it. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I've just been kind of like, okay, this is evolving on its own in some strange way. And I'll just make like a personal comment. It's been pretty fascinating because we've been talking about, the fundamental idea is manifestation. And I've been, and this isn't within the structure of what you're saying, but it's been an interesting reflection in my own life of how I just returned to Vermont, and suddenly all these things had been just appearing very magnificently to help me kind of do the very personal things that I've needed to do here. So I just find that fascinating and wonderful to go along with all this. So anyway.
Yeah, thank you for saying that and for sharing that, Michael. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate, what you're saying and what you're saying about, where my heart is at and where my dedication is and all of that sort of thing. I appreciate all of that. It, again, we're so far in so many ways from where we need to be as a society. We need so many different types of systems, so many types of upgrades, so many types of everything, that there is so much in my head that what you're seeing, this manifestation process, is the ultimate solution for me and for Uniting for Action, because there's, like you guys said, there's so much that's in my head that isn't out there in the world, and I need to get it out of my mouth and onto pages, and I need to just speak all day long and get all this out, download out of, so again, I need to do it for myself, which is why I'm building it for the world, because since I need it, everybody needs it. It's valuable for everybody, in their own kind of way. And again, we're going to keep hyper evolving, and especially into all the bigger things that we're talking about. And like we've talked about, right, we've been focusing, and you guys could see from the beginning of the conversation, we're super focusing on the manifestation process as a way to be able to have a product that people can get and people can use and people can create value with. So I think, again, I definitely want to keep hearing what you guys want to say, and I want to hear what Dana has to say. But I also want to see, since at the beginning, when I first just talked about the manifestation process and all that, that your comment, your response at the time, Paloma, was you appreciated the concretization of that piece of it. And then we started getting off into the bigger, wider stuff. So I want to see if we pull back and come back to the manifestation process and the way we described it and the way we're using it, if that's concrete enough for everybody, or if there's still more amorphous, stuff that needs to be wrapped or, around for that part of it. So let me hear what Dana has to say, and then we'll get into that question. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thanks for giving me the floor. And yeah, so I've been a part of the Leadership Council now for, I think that this is my second meeting. Jared and I came together very synchronistically through another collective called the Purpose Alliance. And I completely agree with what Michael said. I see that from I see that there's an amorphous aspect to it, and that's, I believe, just like getting rid of any cognitive dissonance within the system. Jared is clearly like tapping into something that I think is quite profound, and bringing it forward to the world. And I really agree with what Michael said, is that the energy behind it is something that I'm very attracted to. The energy behind it is something that I feel is very powerful. I don't know exactly where it's going. I just know that for myself, showing up here, and it sounds like Michael may have reviewed the last meeting. I know Paloma, we've spoken. I'm not sure about Miliano, but I'm a personal coach. So my involvement within Uniting for Action is basically just to come here and shine my light as bright as possible into this. And in terms of, I believe it's worth my time and it's worth my value because of the energy that I feel from it. That's kind of the mode of operation I'm going into with life right now, is how does the energy feel? Even if I'm like buying a papaya down the road here in Bali, it's like, where does the energy lead me? It's because some vendors feel really good and some like not the best, right? So this is an example of something where I feel really good investing my time into. I think the model of posting our services online through the Uniting for Action website, what it seems to me is that Uniting for Action will tap into a certain like subset of society, that other services like TikTok has its own kind of demographic, its own types of people who are attracted to that, right? It's like a very specific type of person, or groups of people. With Uniting for Action, I sense that there's something similar going on. And I also sense that even like some of the older generation who isn't so hip to things, like for example, TikTok or Instagram, that Uniting for Action can really appeal to those types of people. And again, I don't know exactly how it's going to change or morph, but I sense that there's quite a lot of people who want to be part of the change of humanity, who want to live in a better, brighter world, who are seeking answers and, are ready for it. Like they're ready for evolution, and Uniting for Action might fill in the gap for that. And that could be a very big thing. So I'm in full support of the energy. I really encourage, Jared, to keep doing what you're doing and keep going. I'm happy to be on these meetings and these calls. I'm happy meeting all of you. And I'm also happy to be putting my services on the Uniting for Action website and see what kind of revenue can be generated there to keep myself, get money for myself and also get money for Uniting for Action, and do that community financial exchange where we become more comfortable with money and we embrace money by embracing the world. So those are my thoughts. Those are my comments. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you for sharing that, Dana. I really appreciate it. Really honor, you sharing that and coming back to the energy, because pretty much all of you have shared that. All of you and the others that have joined the Leadership Council have all pretty much commented about either synchronicities or really strongly feeling the energy and alignment with the energy. And that's what's guided you all. So, part of it, I think, is, like you're sharing, Paloma, showing up with whatever you can offer. That's what I'm having you guys here for, is to give me your feedback, especially if there's anything that is off for you or missing for you guys. I need to hear that. So you guys are doing a great job. I want to thank you and appreciate you all for the great job that you're doing to be Leadership Council members in this moment. This is what, I need you guys for, is to keep helping to be the translator from what's in my head and what's in my world to what the world wants and what the world will embrace, right? So it's going to, and that's why I keep, asking you guys to show up to help shape this, help shape it in your image. I'm not sure, it's not going to be, Jared's is just a starting point for everybody to jump in, so again, everything we do is just a starting point. Laura, did you want to say something else? I know it's been a little while since you've shared.
Yeah, I'm not completely remembering what I said, what I wanted to share before, but I did want to say that, I appreciate your commitment and your, the evolution of all of this. And I think one of the questions that I did have that I don't know if it got answered, but so we create our profiles and I think that this is what I've gotten from us on our one-on-one calls is that then I have that profile that I can share with whoever I want to, directing them into the space to show what I'm, up to and looking for. And then if they choose to create a profile for themselves, they can, but they don't necessarily need to have a profile in order to connect with the community, correct?
Yeah, they certainly can, view the whole website and all of that without having a profile. If they want to, submit a referral to you or something like that, of course, they need to be registered in the system so we know who's doing the referring and who's going to earn the commission and that sort of thing. So, but they can certainly view your whole page, and they can even share your page without being a member. So we'll have the share buttons on the page and they can just share it onto their Facebook page or whatever. They don't have to be a signed up member to do that. So does that answer your question, Laura?
Yeah, it does. And then I think right for right now, and I do think that it's important is, kind of like with LinkedIn, and I'm sure in some sort of like their policy, they can't be responsible for someone who hires somebody through LinkedIn. And I think like Uniting for Action isn't Amazon. To me, it's a little bit more like a LinkedIn. So I don't think Uniting for Action probably wants to be really clear about liability issues.
Thank you for saying that. And it's really important. And we're going to be, I think, pretty clean on that, because what we're going to do, at least to begin with, until we can get all the lawyering up we need to be in the middle of those financial transactions, is not to be in the middle of those financial transactions. So, what that's going to look like is it's going to look like when somebody earns the 2% and the 1% and the 10%, that's the person who's receiving the money is paying those percentages out directly to those people. They're not paying everything to Uniting for Action and then Uniting for Action's distributing it. It's just going directly to the recipients. So I think, my intention is, and again, we'll get some legal advice, is to just make sure we're not a part of that agreement between those two parties, right? That it's a direct payment, basically. Does that make sense? Any questions about that or thoughts, Laura?
That might be a little bit where it gets swirly for some people, like, if somebody doesn't make their payments and you'll have to have the wording, like, this is what we're asking of people. And that's where I guess people's, I forget the word that you're using, their reliability, rating will go down if referrals aren't paid out. But that's,
well, not only that, it actually, they can be banned from the system. They can't keep using the system if they're not paying. Yeah. And that's a pretty stiff penalty to be locked out of a system like this.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, I wouldn't think that people would do anything like that intentionally, but that it's not going to be something that's just automatically generated, and it becomes, dependent on the people that are receiving the service.
Oh, that's a short-term solution.
Yeah.
Definitely want to have a long-term solution that's much more automated, but we're going to have like a payment processor, like a PayPal or something like that we have a contractual agreement with. So that's again, where we're here, we want to be here, we have to grow this gap, and this is the growing part that we're doing right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to say, because I know you guys hadn't heard it before, those of you that have been chatting back and forth, and it's fine, and I let it go for this meeting. But I just want to say, for the future, I want to ask people not to chat during the meetings, because it creates essentially side conversations. And also, at least for me, when I'm talking, it becomes distracting, but also that other conversations are going on. It's I prefer to keep the focus on the one conversation. So anything that anybody wants to say, I want you guys to say, but say it into the whole conversation if you can, or you can direct message somebody afterwards or something like that.
Cool.
But I know
good.
What's that?
That sounds good. Can I go ahead and make a comment real quick?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so Paloma, yeah, I would love to have you reach out to me. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram or Telegram. That's the best place for me right now. I'm actually in the middle of making my own website, so soon I'll have that up and running, and really looking forward to that. One of the other comments I wanted to make too, just with this conversation, is that one of the things I can really feel with Uniting for Action is a really strong, actually divine masculine presence. And I just really want to feel that for a moment and just speak to that, because when I look at the Uniting for Action logo and then like working together to get things done, there's just when I look at it, I feel like a safety within the masculine. Like I feel like a strong masculine energy. And part of that is, I believe that with the creation of Uniting for Action and what it's evolving into is to get very crystal clear, in the manifestation process and bringing it down to physical reality and understanding like what it is that it actually is, getting very crystal clear on what it is that's being created. So for example, the manifestation process, it sounds like, Jared, your process with creating that, the manifestation process of the manifestation process was it's complete. Like it's got this completeness to it. It, like you said, it's elegant, it's a system, and it's ready to go. So I would just like say, continuing focusing on that quality of things, of finished products, something that is just like, boom, it's right here, it's good, it's crystal clear. I think that mindset will really help Uniting for Action grow and evolve.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Dana. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you bringing it, back. And I just want to again share what I shared with you guys before in terms of this self-service page, because it's where, I lost it now. It's where, I'm doing, I can't bring it up, so you guys will have to imagine what it was like before. So with the self-service, it's where, again, I want to have it all very crystal clear, all very usable, all very packaged, and it just taking, time. And it's really challenging, as I'm working on getting, Burgess done and others that I'm doing and all of that to also, package it all up and cut up all this. So it's very time consuming and very challenging to evolve this whole process when I'm still the only one at the moment. But again, thankfully, Emiliano, Rico, Kumba, others are going to start to step up and start to do the manifestation process, the full service version, so we can start to have a volume and start to evolve in that way and start to have a system and systematize it and have other users that are tweaking the system and all that sort of thing. So it is going to keep evolving, quite rapidly, as well as, individual users that are using it and all that. So thank you, Dana, for bringing that up, and also me giving the opportunity to share with all of you guys how that's happening right now, so that we can move forward as fast as we can. And you guys that want to use the self-service have all the tools right there, and all of you that want to use the full service, we can do that, and we have enough resources on hand to manage that. So awesome. I see we're at 9:30. Anybody else want to say anything else before we wrap up here? Thank you all so much for all of your input, all of everything you're saying. I really, really appreciate it. It's really been amazing, and I appreciate you guys for it. Yeah, Emiliano.
Yeah, I just want to say, I guess I commented. Now I know I shouldn't comment. I should just speak up. So I've read a lot about startups. I've personally done a few that haven't really been successful, but I think the experience has given me some ideas. And as I've read about startups, this is exactly what the theory talks about, and we're experiencing live. People have ideas in their head, and they're grandiose, and they're like, they can be like the best thing in the world, but until you actually start to implement and execute in the world and get feedback from people, that until then you don't really have a product. And so I think Jared called all of us with his idea of let's do this, but then as he started noticing that we weren't resonating 100%, I mean, we liked the idea, but in reality it's not happening. He's been able to pivot and actually tweak the product to accomplish what the user, the person, that the client in this case wants. And I think he's gone like Dana said, he's gotten to a place where people want this and are willing to use this, and from there he can start moving forward. But until now he couldn't, because it was not, the vision was not was not the right moment to maybe do that vision that he had. So he has to start from somewhere, back up a little bit, or shift. So anyways, I just wanted to make that comment. I like to see, I'm very happy to see the evolution and see what a startup actually looks like in practice.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Emiliano. I really appreciate it. Michael, you want to say something?
Yeah, I did. Just, I mean, exactly following up on Emiliano's statement there. Keep going. Like, we're all cheering for you. And I kind of sense a degree of exhaustion from you, because I can see you put a massive amount in this. So don't forget yourself, because if your energy drops, then it's you're carrying the whole thing. So just be careful with that, honor yourself too.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and all the private messages you sent me, to that regard. I totally appreciate it. I appreciate you holding that energy and focusing on that as well. Thank you, Michael.
Everyone, this is Paloma. I don't know, my phone is telling me that I don't have a video anymore. I just wanted to say good night, and it was really nice to have seen you and meet you with you tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Paloma.
Bye-bye, guys. Big kiss.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I think that we're all wrapped up. I just want to thank you all again, and just say that the main thing right now is all of you, each one of you, and especially you, Michael. I want to have our meeting. Want you guys to get the most value that you can out of the manifestation process, and have you guys be able to create value in your world. As quickly as you can, each one of you, all of the leadership council members, everybody that we're working with. So if, let's march forward really powerfully. And if there's something holding you back from creating results with the system, let's identify, what it is. Let's identify what you're coming up against so that you can get help. I'll share with you guys just quickly, and we're going to really get into it in the next meeting because it's kind of breaking open in my world. But, all of the stuff that's been holding me back, all of the overwhelm I've been experiencing, all of the things, I've shared with some of you, my messy room, my health that I've, not been going to the doctor for, and all different things that have been like, avoidances and things in the way, and all of that is what's been in my face lately. Because as long as I keep living in that space, then there's no opportunity for Uniting for Action to get to what I'm talking about. Like, I have to clear those barriers, those obstacles. Like, it's time for Ganesha to show up big time, right? So it's Dana, you want to say something?
Yeah, I would love to jump in there and just say that one, I really honor what Michael is saying. I really honor the wisdom coming through Michael, and I'm so happy to be here with everybody. Of course, it's been good getting to feel everybody's energy, but I really honor what Michael is saying in terms of, noticing that you're working very hard on Uniting for Action, and I am 100% with you. I feel you. I feel the energy. I'm encouraging you. And I would just like to say that I would like to offer you that if you want to work together one-on-one a little bit, I can afford, maybe a couple sessions, 1 or 2 sessions, and we can just go into exactly what you're speaking about, so that we can help optimize your lifestyle to help renew some energy and bring things back into like maybe a balanced, harmonious state that then can create renewal, so we don't have any exhaustion going on, but we feel rejuvenated.
I really appreciate that, Dana. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much for that invitation and that gift. It's really great. And I think, again, this is kind of what our session is going to be more like next week, because we're all going to do this, or in 2 weeks, we're all going to do this as much as we can, because this is the thing, is that when we can all start to say, I need this and I need this, and just start to say, I need this and I need this, I need help here, I need help here, then people will show up to help us, and that's what this system is allowing us to do. It's for us to be open and straightforward, about how we could use help. And, I was hearing it in my head today, for those of you that have a landmark, background, being authentic where we've been inauthentic, is our access to power. Right. And so that's, something that I'm really focusing on now within the system as well, but also personally. And so I appreciate you saying that, Dana. And, I'm about to be on this transformational journey with you and whoever else is showing up to help me break through these barriers, so that Uniting for Action can go to where it needs to go. And I invite and encourage all of you to join me in that same way, and that we can be that support system for each other, that we can all, support each other and make sure that we're all moving forward powerfully, right? If anybody's holding back and not able to join us on this rocket ride, I feel like it's showing us that there's somebody that we can help, right? Like, we won't leave somebody on the roadside and just keep moving, right? Like, hey, come with us. We can help you, come with us. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's the role we're going to start showing up for the whole world with, is like, we're going and we want everyone to come, and anybody that can't keep up, let us help you so that you can keep up, so that you can, excel in your life in the way. Yeah, go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly pointing to the masculine role that I feel. So for probably everybody here except for Jared, I did a 28-day water fast back in October. And a big part of that process was I wasn't planning on going that long, by the way, but I did. And a big part of my transformation during that process was really seeing how identifying problems and then coming up with solutions is like that's the way to do things, right? And so I completely feel your heart when you say, hey, if somebody's having a hard time, somebody's feeling, and this is where my work comes in as well, somebody's feeling depressed, anxious, they don't believe in themselves, they're reaching some type of limitation. Well, let's identify what that is and let's alter it. And so that's what I'm speaking to directly with you, Jared, on, okay, we're reaching a point where the system there might be a little bit of stress in the system, and there's these different things that we can modify. Once we modify those things, then we can put you in a better energetic position where you can express yourself even more freely, and then this whole thing can grow even more. So I really resonate with that. Thank you.
I do too, and I appreciate it. And I want to acknowledge and thank Michael again, as Michael's about to say something, because again, I want, from the very beginning, that's been kind of the drumbeat of the feedback that Michael's been giving me privately in messages after the meeting. So go ahead, please, Michael, and share.
Yeah. First, I'd like to thank Dana's energy here, because I think it's just going to kind of allow me to kind of get out of the closet a little bit with something that we had sort of parsed earlier on. And that is just that, for those of you who don't know, I give medicine ceremonies around the country, both privately and to large groups. And Jared, I focus on your energy every time. And one thing that just came out of the last one this weekend that I'd like to share with you again, and I think that Dana's sort of opening the door for, is you talked a lot about some of the blocks within your own life. I think by turning in and really giving energy, I see your energy just so generously pushing out. This entire conversation, you're always talking about how I can fulfill everybody else's needs. And I would challenge you to try going in and looking at your own needs and the blocks where you have blocks. And I would again challenge you to watch what concentrating on those instead of everything else would do to this process. The inner and the outer, if you're following my train of thought here.
Yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying, and I guess I just have to practice it and see what happens. Because I don't I don't have a sense of, well, I'll practice what you're saying, and I'll see what happens, because I don't have a sense of what would happen from that automatically, but I guess that's the point, right?
If you, what I'm saying is, if you got yourself into alignment personally, everything outside of you is you. The war that's going on in the Ukraine is some distant war within your own consciousness, within all of ours. And so it's a fascinating thing to turn around and try to work out whatever battles are going on within you, and to watch how that then reflects outwards. Because really, we're all in a mirror.
Right.
This is the mirror of our own consciousness. And
Yeah.
what we're not seeing is, it's sort of like the idea of your car has blind spots. And so we've set up mirrors to see within our own consciousness those blind spots. And like I said, you offered, and as I've sort of felt in you, I mean, you've had great energy going through this, but I would encourage you to sort of look at some of the things within your own personal existence and really give energy to those, honor those things, and then see how that reflects out to this much larger project.
Got it. Okay,
And
cool.
thank you. I'd like to thank Dana for kind of, there's a sort of energy that he's bringing, that is bringing that in. And I know this is on a different level altogether. It's not necessarily the most practical, but you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, can I go ahead and jump in here? So yeah, Mike, I appreciate your acknowledgement, and I feel you. And I would also say candidly, I actually think this is also very practical as well. One of the things that I've started tapping into is that when we change our habits, like I know Jared has mentioned his room, and by changing, this is just an example, I've had my own examples of this, but by changing our habits and changing our rituals every day, we actually change our internal landscape as well. Because as Michael has stated, the inside is the same as the outside. It's a reflection. It's all a big mirror. So when we actually can gain control of the physical realm and start to change our habits, and that can be little things that, again, I'm happy to go into, Jared, and we can figure out little tricks and tips that can over time can actually in quite a short period of time sometimes can cause quite a big change in the way our energies are being transferred. You know, for me, stopping energy leakages has been a big thing. So identifying where those things are occurring in my physical reality and changing that has really helped my consciousness shift and my heart feel better and my energy feel better. So yeah, Michael, I would love to connect with you too. So if you have an Instagram or you have somewhere where I can connect with you or a business or something, please let me know.
I'll just send a little message with my info, actually, for anybody here. So I'll just put it out there on this.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, it's totally fine. Thank you for saying all of that, Dana. And, you know, there was, I've actually been taking what you've been saying, Michael and Dana, to heart so much that this meeting almost centered on me kind of like sharing everything, like all the different obstacles and challenges and all the things that I haven't been sharing with the world, and all the, you know, deepest things that I've been holding shame around and different things around, because I've understood, you know, conceptually what you guys are saying, that is the access to, you know, the being free of, you know, how it's constraining me at this point, and also doing the things that there are to do. It was just that, you know, what I shared with you guys earlier on, the mechanics of all of this, I felt like needed to be the leading part of the conversation. And I wasn't sure if we'd get to all of that other stuff. And so I figured that might be 2 weeks from now, even though it is now. And that's why I kind of was saying at the beginning, or not at the beginning, but right after Paloma left, that the I'm about to be in this process, you know, with you, Dana, Michael, with all of you. I'm about to be in what Michael, what you've been calling for a while, that inner, coming into, and Dana, creating these new rituals and all that sort of thing. And that's why, again, as this is a reflection outward, I'm inviting all of you to do it for yourself, wherever you're at and whatever is stopping you, whatever it takes for you, and wherever, that we all do this together, and that we create an environment where we're all supporting each other really lovingly and compassionately, where each of us are at in our stuff. I've been seeing other people's stuff come up recently, and all of the different types of things that come up for them. So I think that that's becoming a big part of Uniting for Action, is being this kind of safe space for everyone to show up with all of their stuff, where they can start to go to higher levels of performance and results for themselves and for the world by just, again, availing themselves of the support that we're creating here. And then the tools and the systems become valuable. But if it seems to me it's starting with the support for almost everybody. So what do you guys want to say about that?
Yeah, I can say that for me and my business, with my business is called Lightcraft. That's at least one of the primary businesses I'm working on, but it is a primary thing I'm focusing on. With Lightcraft, I see that I'm reaching my own limitations, which my own self-constructed limitations, the conditioning within my mind. And so exactly what you just said, Jared, it's like, as we're working on these projects and we're channeling like our dharmic path, we're channeling our true purpose in a project, that it's passion. It leads us down the road of expansion. And that is a journey of seeing, oh, okay, in order for me to up level, in order for me to expand, I need to let go of these things, or these things about myself can change. And that's a deep reflection process that we go through. So with Uniting for Action, I'm so happy that this energy is in this space, because I'm actually experiencing this myself. I'm pursuing high-end clients, top paying clients. I'm expanding, social media. I'm revamping everything, and I'm just stepping more and more into more of what I truly am. So I'm actually going through this process within myself as well, and constantly going through reflection on, where can I optimize my belief system, and where am I wasting my time? What is just not worth my thought energy anymore? And what in its place can be adopted? So what belief systems and operating systems can I fully embody at this time?
That's really great. Thank you for sharing that, Dana. Awesome. Michael, did you want to say something? Or Emiliano?
I'll say something.
Emiliano, go ahead.
I was gonna say, last time we talked, Jared, we looked at your human design, and I thought it was appropriate to bring it up. I don't know if that anybody here knows what human design is. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Jared and I did his human design, and it was pretty spot on for what he's.
Should I share it? I think
sure, you can share it if you have it.
I think I still have it up somewhere. Maybe not. I don't know what the icon looks like. All right, why don't you talk while I look for it?
Yeah, I'll talk in the
here it
meantime. So yeah, I've been getting into, very interested in how powerful the human design and other tools or other technologies that have been tried, test and trial for a long periods of time. Also, astrology is a really good one. I mean, human design basically uses astrology. So I think that, I'm a real beginner. I'm not really expert at all, but I'd be happy to work with some of you if you are interested. I can give you a little idea of what your human design looks like, and your I think the planets are very important in the astrological chart, birth chart, and understanding how your emotions are, like your moon, for example. What kind of is it a fire sign? Is it a water sign? Is it an air sign? or it's an earth sign, I think that's a really good thing. And talking about Jared, I was actually curious to know what your moon was, because that's how you would take feedback from people. Like when you were a kid, you didn't know how to react, so your moon sign basically was your way to feel nurtured when you had challenges, for example. So I was really impressed, or interested, actually more interested than impressed, interested in learning what your moon sign was, Jared, as to how you were receiving that feedback right now, and just so that you can get a better understanding, and not just for Jared, but for the rest of the team, because we can actually learn a lot about ourselves with this technologies. So that's what I want to say.
What you just described was the astrology though, right? Not the human design?
I was talking about both, but the moon
moon.
was astrology. But I was
Right.
talking about
So should we
human
look
design.
that up now? Should we look that up now too?
I can look it up on my end and I'll tell you.
All right. So yeah, what do you want to tell people about what they're seeing? Have you guys, Dana, Michael, Laura, have you guys gotten into human design? Do you know what we're looking at?
Yeah, so human design is really popular in the community that I'm part of. It's this really popular thing, and I have looked into a little bit, but I have not looked into it very deeply. But I will say I kind of, it's come into my field so many times, it's come into my awareness so many times, and there's clearly something about it that the universe is like, especially with the line of work that I'm in, the universe is like, hey, like, go buy the book and really get into this and dive into it and feel what is occurring here. So I know a lot of people really enjoy it. It's been around for a little while. I don't know the full history of it, but it's, for some reason, it's very, very popular right now.
Are you familiar, Laura?
I'm not familiar with this exact name, and I don't know if it's the same thing or similar to the gene codes, but I've looked up my gene code, which it was, something similar to this, and that was really fascinating. It was so spot on with who I am
Gene code,
or how I
okay, I've
show
never
up in
heard
the
of it.
world, I guess.
Yeah, the gene, I think it's the gene keys.
Gene
And
keys, yeah.
yeah, I've been super attracted to the gene keys personally. I have a friend who actually just did a gene keys reading for me a couple days ago, and I've been very good with that. But the human design specifically is like this new thing for me personally. Yeah.
Michael, did you want to say something? And then Emiliana, do you want to give just a couple minute overview of what we're looking at here and what you shared with me about what this means about me and how I deal with stuff?
Yep.
Michael, you want to say something?
No, I'm just at the same place. It's
Oh.
come to my awareness a bunch of times. I can't say that I know a huge amount about it, but so it's interesting. So go ahead.
Emiliano, please.
Okay, I'll just share a little bit about Jared's human design, so you all get to know Jared from this perspective. So the first thing I noticed from the white on the head is that it's white. I still can't read exactly what everything is, just the head. It not having color means that Jared has an open mind. He's not closed-minded, so he's open to listening to people's ideas, and bring them on in his, and make decisions with those ideas. One thing, his type, he's a manifesting generator. So manifesting well, there's 4 types. There could be 5, I can't remember, but the one is manifestors. Manifestors are like, there's only about 3% of manifestors in the world, and those are the people that have such a big aura, powerful aura, that they can literally get things done really, really quick. And the pharaohs, for example, were manifestors. They would tell people what to do, and they would build the pyramids, for example. Generators, on the other hand, they're like, the way that they get results is by working really hard. They're just really hard workers, and that's how they get success, feel good about themselves. And then there's the in between manifestors and generators. There's the manifestor generator, who are still generators, but they can manifest a little, like they have that capacity to manifest as well. So Jared is a manifesting generator. There's also the projectors, and the difference between manifestors and projectors is that manifestors basically inform their strategy, like what it says, strategy of a manifestor is to inform. So that's why they basically give orders and they just inform about what's going on. A generator's strategy is to respond. So when Jared gets feedback from us or from the world or whatever, he responds to the feedback. And a projector, what they do, their strategy is to wait for the invitation. So if someone's a projector, rather than responding or like a manifestor informing, they wait for the invitation to come, and that's when they take action. So if someone says, hey, I think you should do this, then that's when they would take an action. So that's the different kinds. And there's one more, I can't remember what it was. And then in regards to Jared's profile, 6'2", there's 6 different numbers. 6 in particular is the role model. So people see Jared as a role model. And then 2 is and he's got a natural skill, a natural gift. And the 6 is conscious and the 2 is unconscious. So meaning that Jared is conscious that he's a natural leader. He's so good at it that he doesn't even realize that he's that, like, it's for him, it's normal. Let's put it that way. He's a normal role model. So, he understands it. He knows that within himself. He's unconscious of 2. He's unconscious that he's got a natural skill, meaning that when he sees other people being really, really great at something or just being natural at something, he admires them, but he doesn't see that he has that too. He has that natural skill for something, and he constantly has to be reminded. So people do notice that he's got a natural skill. So anyways, that's what being unconscious is. He's a single definition, meaning that he doesn't need to ask for other people's advice or opinions. He can make decisions on his own. Like, that's what single is, because there's the split definition or triple definition. Split means that you like to take decisions or make decisions by consulting with other people. And triple is like you want to consult with even more people. So Jared has that ability of just making decisions on his own, but he's also open-minded, so he's willing to listen to others, but he'll make his own decision ultimately without having to consult other people necessarily. And then the last thing that I know here is the left angle cross of industry. That's his human design purpose. So if you want to Google that, Jared, we can look it up. Just Google the left angle cross. Which this is the part that is really just, everything.
So many
else is
tabs open,
good.
Jared.
So that's his purpose. Jared, you want me to read it, or you want to?
Yeah.
Okay. So his purpose is the left angle cross of industry. So the energy of this cross is to be industrious. There's a strong desire to be busy and see that others are busy. The drive for this business is the goal to bring people together. Your belief is that doing this work, your belief is that by doing this work, we will all come together. The trick for you is to make sure you follow your strategy and use your business in response instead of trying to outright manifest. So, it just makes so much sense, because maybe he was trying to manifest, but now he's noticing he's responding to the feedback we're giving him and stuff. And I think that's it. No, I don't think that's just his strategy. So he's gonna accomplish a lot more by following his strategy. So that's what we talked about.
Yeah, so it's great. Thank you for sharing all that, Emiliano. Particularly that last part, like you said, it's important. My strategy is response, and I think this whole our whole meeting tonight was about that, right? About you guys giving me something to respond to. I need, my strategy is to respond, right? And so I need something to respond to. So thank you all for giving me something to respond to. I appreciate that. Anything that any of you would like to say about anything Emiliano shared or anything else before we wrap up here?
Actually, I'd like to ask you a question. So hearing this, what do you feel you're responding to? What have you heard from outside through all these people, even just tonight, or maybe going back, that you feel is necessary as a response, or for you to, morph the energy to, or something?
Yeah, so the first thing that I think was the big response that we've talked about was that when I was first starting to look for leadership council members, I shared this with some people that I knew that it was going to be like a small eye of the needle, that I was looking for people that like had the bandwidth and the interest in, transforming our planet and getting us to a better place and all of that. And so I was thinking that, I was willing to solicit that small a percentage of people for the leadership council membership, that it was going to be maybe 3% of people, or I don't know, some very small percent. But I got, as I was like sifting through people that I needed to be, this percent was just unsustainably small. Let's put it that way. I didn't have the time and energy to sift through enough people to keep leaving like good quality people that I knew I could create things with on the side of the road, dealing with their own stuff that they didn't have, the time and bandwidth for Uniting for Action. So like I said, I got direct, feedback from people. One of my friends in particular, that, was like, I think maybe you need to have something that's more specific to what my needs are today, that's more of an answer to what I've been looking for right now, rather than to show up with something new that I didn't know I needed, type of thing, which I've known. But again, it was the describing of what I was observing. And so that's where, again, the manifestation process started to be born. So that was the first, response, was to respond with the manifestation process to the business environment that I was reaching out to, and the people I was reaching out to, and finding a way to engage with more people more directly, more quickly. So that's the first thing. And does that answer your question specifically, Michael? And do you want me to get into more?
Well, I'm kind of trying to tease something out here, and what I mean, unfortunately, Paloma's not here, Laura's still here, but it would be nice to have the larger group of people.
We lost you, Michael. Can you hear us? We heard the larger group, and then we didn't hear anything else. Can you hear us? We heard that.
There you are. How much the power just came back on. So something just happened there. How much did you hear? I know I blinked out.
Yeah. What was the last thing that
well,
I'll
just say it again. What I'm trying to tease something out here for you.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if we had the larger group of people that have, participated across the majority of a lot of these meetings and stuff. But what I would ask each person is Jared hearing what your concern is here? You know what I mean? And just to go around robin to hear that. And again, this is not, I want to stress a lot, because I feel your energy be like, oh, here's criticism, and it's not criticism. I see this again is this really beautiful animal kind of trying to find its way. And any way that I've been able to sort of tap into that, that's what I've been trying to give you here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So
like Paloma, I mean, I might as well use her example. She is stating some very real personal things. You know, I've got kids, I've got time here. How is it that I'm paying into this, and what am I getting in the things like that? And I've seen you responding in certain ways and stuff. But, and again, this isn't, there's no criticism here. I still think that ultimately it's trying to find its way. And all I'm doing is encouraging you to keep going. But what I'm also noticing is I think there's really I think you need to focus more on you, and like what Dana was saying of like your room, of the blockades that are happening in your personal life. I think in clearing that energy out, you would find that this energy would find its way. Your health, right? You just mentioned some health concerns. I've seen those in medicine with you. That's why I've continually said, take care of yourself. Make sure you're getting enough rest. Make sure, you know, a lot of you've heard what I've been saying. But again, this inner and outer reflection. And I think if you paid attention to that, you would see this kind of manifestation process that you're talking about systemizing in the three-dimensional world. And again, I really hope I'm not being so abstract here. But again, like I love Dana's energy coming into this, that it sort of gave me a little more license to sort of speak on this level. And mind you, I just did a 7-week IT project. So I'm very aware of the real three-dimensional details and time and the rest of things that it takes to create something. So I'm not glossing that over, but I'm just sort of making this suggestion.
yeah, I appreciate it. It's been, you know, it's on, you know, it's happening. We're in the midst of it. You know, I've begun cleaning my room as an example, as the example that we're using, and Dana is going to support me with different things, and you've been supporting me, Michael, and you know, other people have been supporting me, and that's the process that we're in right now. So I'm not, you know, I've been in the last couple of days kind of reminding myself to not be in resistance about anything, to just not like that anything is wrong or bad or out of place, that it's all in perfect timing, it's all unfolding perfectly. So, you know, that's what and I've been realizing that I have been having a lot of resistance around a lot of things. And so I'm working on giving up that resistance around everything and then allowing everything to flow. So yeah, so I think your, you know, your points have been well taken, Michael. I think that, you know, it has, maybe you haven't been seeing it on outwardly as much, but there's been, you know, some movement there, and now there's going to be a lot more pretty quickly. So that's where we're at.
I'm going to just inject one last thing here.
Mhm.
And that is that Dana picked up on this masculine energy, the divine masculine. And I would ask you to look deeply at some of the things with your father that are unresolved, that you've never resolved in your life with him. It just, that feels like a place that some of these health issues, some of the blockages that are in your life right now, personally, are rooted in.
Okay.
And certainly to balance that with a divine feminine, which is a nurturing, which is really to take care of yourself more.
Okay.
There's my 2 cents. I'll
Okay,
shut up
great.
now.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Okay, awesome. I want to respect our time. I know we've gone way over. Anybody that wants to leave, I know Laura, I think it's been getting long for you. Anybody that wants to say anything still, I want to hear it. Dana, it looks like you want to say something, but I want to let Laura and anybody else go that wants to. Anything you'd like to say, Laura, before you go?
It was great being with you all, but yeah, I've got a early morning, and so yep, thank you. And I appreciate where the conversation went, and there was value for all of us in it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Laura.
Great to have you here. We'll see you
Yeah.
later. Yeah. And Dana, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so I'm happy for the invitation of the roundtable on like sharing just concerns and where we're at with the project. I feel that I have done that largely, and I also want to say that there's been a part of me that has resonated with like how much time am I investing into Uniting for Action, and what does that look like? Because this is actually something I'm kind of going over in my life in general, is like understanding, am I spreading myself too thin? What is my capacity? Where can I invest my time into so I don't let myself down or other people down, and I can go full power into whatever I'm committing to? And like I stated earlier, I feel really good about the energy here for Uniting for Action, and I feel really called to come to the meetings and to work with you, Jared, and to connect and to just continue to grow the energy. So um that's again just where I'm at. But it felt good to state that there was a part of me that was a little bit in confusion and like a little bit of like, just making sure that I can show up in the most optimal way. But I have to say I feel really quite good here, and I feel quite good being connected with you and everybody who comes onto these calls.
Awesome. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dana. I really honor and appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. That really means a lot.
Yeah, very happy to invest my energy here.
Awesome. Really appreciate that. I feel that.
Hmm.
Awesome. Michael, Emiliano, anything you guys want to say before we wrap up?
I think I've said enough, so I'm going to leave it with exactly the things that I've said to you. But I'd really, if you could, in the next week, I just bring the throttle. Try to bring it down a bit, just for yourself. I would love that for you.
Try to bring the throttle down a bit. Is that what you said?
Well, yeah. I mean, you heard Dana's where he's at energetically, of really trying to figure out where that happy medium is, where he's not too thin. And if anything, I feel in your energy, you've maxed out your throttle here for a long time on this. And I think that if you brought it back, you'd find a better engine. You know what I mean?
Yep. I hear what you're saying. I appreciate that.
And again, like, this is I guess recognizing that this is an evolving thing, that this isn't like something that is just going to hit like tomorrow or whatever. And I'm not saying don't have a motivation to bring it forward and stuff, but it's been interesting to me having a very large sort of stepped back look at this and watching the arc of this and watching it sort of evolve and go this direction and then a little more this direction. And again, I can only commend you on your ability to exactly that chart that Emiliano is showing of your responses, but just don't tire yourself out too much.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would last thing I can say is, because I can relate to Jerry in various ways. I think it's not just him dealing with stuff. One thing I can just offer that has been really helpful is going to yoga. Even if it's once or twice a week, but do the gentle yoga. Not the hardcore, the one that you just vinyasana or whatever it's called, that you just like move like crazy and it's more of an exercise. Do the gentle one, the one where you can actually connect with your body and yourself and relax. Basically, that's what I would suggest you do. Maybe once or twice a week. You're gonna look forward to it because you'll feel like your body is recuperating from a lot of stress, and so that's what I would suggest you do, Jared. Look for a yoga studio there and buy yourself a package of 10 classes and just start going on a weekly basis.
Cool. Thank you for saying that and suggesting that. I appreciate that. Awesome. Okay, cool. I appreciate everything. Thank you for all of the feedback. Thank you for all of your input. Thank you for all caring and for being here and showing up to help bring all of this into the world for more and more people so that we can, make all the difference that we want as quickly as we can. So I totally honor and appreciate all of you guys. You guys are playing tremendously important roles in my life and, the evolution of Uniting for Action, and from my perspective, the evolution of the planet and our society. So I really honor and appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here and for participating, and excited to keep going. Excited to really march forward with you guys and see where how quickly we can go forward with all of this. So thank you guys. Awesome.
Okay,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. This
Have
was
a great
awesome.
night. Yeah.
Oh, and hey, Michael, real quick,
Yeah.
are you on Telegram with your phone number, or
I'm
is
not.
that like-
I am on. That is a FaceTime number. So
okay?
if you're out of the country, do you have an Apple account or?
Yeah, I can just send you an email. I'll just do that.
Yeah, we'll just start with that.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Have a
See you,
great
everybody.
night. See you
All
soon.
right, see you guys.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.